In regards to this this single motherhood paradigm within the black community, there are certain dynamics and aspects of single motherhood that a lot of people are not aware of or refuse to acknowledge when it comes down to the black female and her being a single mother. And that is the fact that, whether consciously or subconsciously, it is done deliberately and it is glorified. All right. Usually, the the typical rundown is that the man is a deadbeat. He can't handle his responsibilities. He's this. He's that. But for people who have a perpetual victimhood mentality, they are skilled at positioning themselves in such a way that would allow them to be portrayed as the victim in any scenario. So oftentimes, what they will do to avoid that monotonous paradigm with a man, and avoid being in a household dominated by that masculine energy or male authority, they would, one, they would get with a guy whose predisposition is so poor and compromised. His mentality is so weak. You know, he's not about anything. Don't got shit going. Blah blah blah. You already know the type, and that would allow them to execute the termination of that relationship. It would allow them to point the finger at somebody. It would allow them to use him as a scapegoat, as a cover for herself. Meanwhile, whether consciously or subconsciously, she just didn't want to be with a man, man, woman, child. She did not want that, but she understands that if she says that out loud and allow that to be known, she loses the ability to play victim. If she lets it be known that, hey, I want to be a single mother because I don't want a man running the relationship. Tell you what my mother told me. This my mother told me this. She said, we were talking about, because I would have a lot of conversations like this with my mother, and she would talk about. She was talking about why it is that a lot of younger chicks don't like, the more decent, upstanding kind of dudes and all like that. And she was like, it's a lot of dudes out here like that, but the issue is, a lot of these bras don't want those types of dudes. And what she told me, peep this, peep game, nigga. This is what she told me. She said, I admit, when I was that age, I did, referring to a younger chick. She was like, when I was that age, I did not want a man like that because I wanted to be the one who was running shit. So, in other words, I did not want a decent man who was, on his purpose, or grinding or doing his thing, or had his shit together, maybe even level-headed guy. I did not want that kind of guy because I felt like he would have a higher level of control and authority over himself and over the relationship in the household. And I didn't want to be under a man's authority. Don't care how decent or how bad he is. It's not about how great, good, or horrible a man is. They do not want that element of masculinity ruling over their child, ruling over them, ruling over the household. They don't want that level of order and constructiveness. They don't want that monotonous monogamy. They feel like that's a burden. They find that oppressing. They find it oppressive, for a man to run the relationship, especially if he's a real man, not a low level ass nigga, who's dysfunctional. That's fine. That's all right with them. That gives them, once again, it gives them someone to point the finger at. That gives them their daily or weekly dose of drama or whatever. But anyway, now moving on. Secondly, why a lot of chicks are like this, or what they would do is, let's say if they're with a guy who is, a decent man already or whatnot, and he got his shit straight, or he's level headed, or whatever the hell, relatively speaking, he's doing well, or he's a decent person, relatively speaking. What they would do is they would uh, go into sabotaging the relationship. So they would begin to sabotage the relationship so that they could end it. And once again, boom, now I'm a single mother. I don't have to conform. I don't have to capitulate to monotony and monogamy or whatever. I don't have to capitulate to that. I don't have to worry about a man running, like my mother said, running shit. All right. See, that's how they work. It's they, once again, people who have the perpetual victimhood mentality are very skilled at positioning themselves in such a way that would allow them to be portrayed as the victim. They play chess with this. All right. They know how to create the scenario that they're going into. They know how to set up all the pieces so that they can step back and go, "Woe is me." See, they put themselves in those type of scenarios. So, and really, it's because they understand that they're dysfunctional. They understand that they have certain issues, that they have discipline issues, they have personality flaws, things of that nature. They can't, but those flaws that they have, particularly with the single mother, goes against that constructive man, woman, child paradigm, and they understand not to just allow that to be known outright, because one, they can't play the victim and they can't blame the man. All right, they need to be able to play the victim, and they need to be able to blame the man. They have to be able to cast themselves as the strong black mother, goddess, queen, whatever the fuck they calling themselves. All right, they have to be able to depict themselves that way. So they create these scenarios with these men. Have someone to point the finger at. Now she can run from the relationship. She can run from monotony. You see that? All right, they do not want niggas like you who might be watching this video. Not that they wouldn't fuck. That fuck. They pretty much a fuck damn near anything. Yeah, shit, niggas know that. But I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? They know how to avoid. They know how to avoid the quote unquote better man. All right. But yeah, that about conclude this video. Peace.